All right, this is the generic for Disney. All right, Mr. Menken, so I understand you have an interesting story about how you and Lin-Manuel Miranda met. Can you tell me about that, please?
Well, my niece went to the Hunter School, and my sister, her mother, would constantly tell me about this little boy named Lin-Manuel Miranda who was obsessed with The Little Mermaid and all things Disney and all things, filmic and musical. He was just obsessed with all of that. And I'd never met him. And then one day, years later, there was this musical coming in called In the Heights, written by a Lin-Manuel Miranda. And I said, could this be the same little boy? And it was Lin, grown up. And it's amazing. And it's kind of serendipity that all these years later, we collaborated on these new songs for The Little Mermaid. And of course, I, like everyone else, take delight in what he's created. It's so wonderful. And also take delight in him because he's a terrific guy, and I really love him. So we had a wonderful time collaborating.
Perfect, thank you. Do you ever think that you would work together, and how was that partnership in general?
The partnership was wonderful. It was joyful. It was we come from different stylistic places to a degree, or certainly different disciplines. But there's definitely a huge meeting ground where these two, styles meet. And each of the songs we wrote together are sort of a different combination of our styles. And I think it turned out wonderfully, and it was a joy. It was just great.
Perfect. As a father, is this film especially meaningful to you, and if so, why?
Yeah, it is. Because it's much of the emotion in it is a father-daughter story. A father trying to protect his daughter from things that could endanger her and take her away from him. And in the end, he facilitates that because he knows it's what her heart wants. And that's very emotional. And I certainly use my daughters as a big inspiration for the emotion that I put into The Little Mermaid.
Why was Rob Marshall the ideal director to bring this story to the big screen?
Rob is the ideal director for almost anything to begin with. Rob understands musicals totally. He understands it from a stage point of view, which is where he began his career, and where I began my career, and from a filmic perspective. He's just the best at what he does. And it's a dream come true to work with him. Love it.
Great. How did the new songs come about, and how do you determine where they landed in the story?
Well, the way the songs come about, of course, is we sit down with the script, and the script has songs already that from the original movie that were going to be used in it, and then we look at the dramatic flow and decide what spots are promising for new songs, what will be a jump-off point for something that we haven't heard before, or an emotion we haven't experienced, quite before. And so we found those moments, and of course, that all came in a room together with John and Rob and Lynn and me and David, all together pitching ideas. And it was pretty clear which were going to be the new song moments.
Excellent. Okay, and then final question here is, can you talk about the phenomenal music performances by the cast as a whole?
Oh yeah. Well, I'll lead up to our leads. One of the joys is a song called Scuttlebutt, and Aquafina and David Diggs. Oh my God. Of course, David doing Under the Sea is fantastic. He was wonderful in Hamilton, and he's just absolutely incredible, Sebastian. And in Scuttlebutt, I could never have words come out of my mouth that fast and that rhythmically. They are just incredible, and doing that, the personality that just oozes from them. Aquafina, the personality is just, remarkable. And the chemistry of all three of those sort of sidekicks, including Flounder with Jacob Tremblay as Flounder, they are just, oh my God, they're just priceless. We have a song that is not in the movie, but we had a song that actually was sung by Triton, Javier Bardem, called Impossible Child. And just getting to work with him in the studio was incredible. His performance as Triton it just brings me to utter tears by the end, especially. It's just incredible. Melissa McCarthy as Ursula. I mean, I don't know if people have ever seen this side of Melissa McCarthy. It's just, oh my God, it's maybe the best Ursula ever. And we've had some pretty incredible Ursulas. She's just amazing and wonderful. Oh God, let's talk about Jonah Hauer-King as Prince Eric. He's really charismatic and really just a wonderful actor, wonderful presence, and his singing of Wild Uncharted Waters is a revelation. His voice and his acting is just so incredible. And then, yes, let's talk about Halle Bailey. I mean, you can't take your eyes off her. She is heartbreaking. She is the most wonderful singer. She brings a purity and a little bit of a pop edge to the songs that is appropriate and wonderful. And she's remarkable. It's just, the effect of this cast is incalculable.